Welcome to this tutorial on function scope in PowerShell. Understanding scope is fundamental to writing clean, maintainable PowerShell code. Scope determines where your variables and functions are visible and accessible within your scripts. In this video, we'll explore the three main scope levels in PowerShell and learn how to control variable and function visibility effectively. PowerShell has three primary scope levels that control where your variables and functions can be accessed. First, local scope limits variables to the current function or script block only. Second, script scope makes variables available throughout the entire script file and all its functions. Third, global scope extends variables across your entire PowerShell session, making them accessible from anywhere. Each scope level serves a specific purpose and understanding. When to use each one is crucial for effective PowerShell programming. Let's examine local scope with a practical example. We define a function called test-local that creates a variable named $local var with the value inside function. When we call write-host inside the function, it successfully displays the value. However, when we call the function and then try to access $local var outside the function, it returns nothing. This demonstrates that local variables only exist within the function, where they're created, and are automatically destroyed when the function completes. Script scope allows you to share variables across multiple functions within the same script file. In this example, we declare $script:config equals settings at the top of our script. Inside the get-config function, we can access this variable using $script:config. When we call the function, it successfully returns settings. The script scope modifier ensures that this variable is accessible to all functions within the script file, while remaining isolated from other scripts. Global scope creates variables that persist throughout your entire PowerShell session. Here, we set $global:appname equals my app. Inside the show-appname function, we access it using $global:appname. When we call the function, it outputs my app. Notice that we can also access this variable directly using just $appname without the global modifier. This is because PowerShell automatically searches parent scopes, and global is the ultimate parent scope, accessible from anywhere in your session. PowerShell follows specific visibility rules that govern how scopes interact. First, child scopes can always read variables from their parent scopes, creating a hierarchy of access. Second, parent scopes cannot access variables created in child scopes, maintaining encapsulation. Third, when you create a local variable with the same name as a parent variable, the local one shadows the parent, temporarily hiding it. Fourth, you can use explicit scope modifiers like $global: or $script: to target specific scope levels, avoiding ambiguity and making your intentions clear. Variable shadowing occurs when a local variable has the same name as a parent scope variable. In this example, we set $message equals global at the top level. Inside the test-shadow function, we create a new local variable also named $message with the value local. When we use write-host $message inside the function, it displays local because the local variable shadows the global one. However, we can still access the global variable by explicitly using $global:message, which outputs global. After the function completes, $message still equals global, proving the local variable didn't modify the global one. Let's review best practices for working with scope in PowerShell. First, always use local scope by default for variables within functions to maintain encapsulation and prevent unintended side effects. Second, use script scope when you need to share configuration or state between multiple functions within the same script file. Third, avoid using global scope unless absolutely necessary, such as for session-wide settings or data that must persist across multiple scripts. Fourth, be explicit with your scope modifiers to make your code's intentions clear and prevent confusion. Following these practices will help you write cleaner, more maintainable PowerShell code. Congratulations on mastering function scope.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.